Hello and welcome to the channel. My name's Nanette and I'm finally back for another YNAB Budget With Me session here on YouTube. My last video that I posted was my final paycheck of April, and I can't believe that we're already in the first week of June and I didn't post anything for May. But here we are. May was super busy at work. All of my free time was spent working in the garden, trying to get ahead of the summer heat and knock back the invasive vines and grasses and whatnot that try to take over the permaculture food forest in the back. And what we're looking at here on the screen are Seminole pumpkins in my front garden bed with some speckled beans behind them, and they are part of a slideshow that I put together to celebrate the fact that my channel, Growing Greens and Greenbacks, has now finally reached 100 subscribers. On the Friday, the 29th of May, Maria B. became my 100th subscriber, so thank you so much to Maria B., as well as the other 99 of you that preceded her, and I think there's a few more that subscribed earlier this week. So I'm pretty excited about that. But I'm going to save the slideshow for after the budgeting session. In case you're just here for the budgeting, we will go ahead and dive right in. What you see here on the screen is all of my income in May, which was made up of $42.95 of cash back, $273.35 of interest. Most of that came from the high yield savings account, but as you can see, I've got a couple of credit union accounts that got about 13 cents, a $1,000 gift that I received, and a gross paycheck of $15,541.68. So I think the first thing that I want to do is to take that cash back and interest and put all of that $316.30 into, oh, I'm sorry, that's not where I want to put that. I want to put it into tax holding, which is down in the No Ships Will Sink. I used to put it into a cash holding account for the videos, but I'm not going to do that this time. Now, I usually start with the overspending. I just wanted to carve out that money because I knew that I wanted to put it into the tax holding category. So first up in the overspending is anything that is directly related to my payroll, which is all the deductions that come out in payroll. We'll reset the available amounts there. Same thing applies to the retirement vehicles that are also funded by my paychecks. We'll reset those available amounts. And then we are left with two categories to cover. I did end up overspending technically in dining out, but I had reduced, not only had I reduced the target in the month of May, I also didn't fully fund it in the month of May. So there's an argument that I didn't overspend anything, but I certainly didn't fund enough of it. So we are going to cover that with personal care. I try to cover my overspending from money that's already been allocated to that current month. And then monthly garden service, I mentioned the invasive vines and weeds and grasses and whatnot. One of the most troublesome is the smilax, and I am not very good at digging those up. So I hired a guy, Daniel, who was willing to get in the backyard and help dig all of those out. There's still some remaining, but he bagged up countless bags of smilax vine and root, and it's just amazing how much work he did for the $612. That is money well spent in my book, and I'm very, very happy to cover that. I think I'm just going to go ahead and, what am I going to do? I will go ahead and cover it for the sake of brevity. I'll just cover it with home maintenance, which is when yard expenses exceed the budget. That's often where I put that. What do I want to do next? think I want to go ahead and take this, the remaining $8,390.51, and we are going to fast forward to December and then go ahead and fund the $5,000 fixed income that I want to be budgeting with in the month of December. And then we will go into January and we'll put another $2,500 out here. And then if we go back into the month of May to budget out the rest of this, what I'm going to do for the moment is park that money. We will dive back into May in just a minute, and there's a method to my madness. So, well, I see what I need to do though. I do want to park this money in the fixed income, or I'll put it in this holding category just until we finish out the budget in June. This overspending is impacting what I have left from my May paycheck. So let's just go ahead and the $8.79, if I go over here and we look in June, we'll see that that is equivalent to the cash back that I've earned so far. So I'm going to take that money and park it into the $8.79. The reason I'm doing that is for the month of June and all the way through the month of December, I want to be budgeting just with the $5,000 fixed income. That's what I want to be basing all of my needs on. The 7 overspent categories, in my mind, aren't really overspent because they're just underfunded because I haven't done any of the budgeting for this month. So instead of covering those, well, we're just going to dive through the budgeting and it'll all take care of itself. So for Life Will Out, it's asking for $785.23. You know, I think in the interest of time, I'm just going to go ahead and show you guys the easy route. So because I have my targets fairly well dialed in, as far as the reality question, there's no reason. I just did a really quick review here. There isn't anything here that I don't want to cover. So I'm just going to go ahead and click the underfunded button, and that takes care of all the things that my money needs to do before I get another $5,000. In the stability question, what large or less frequent spending do I need to prepare for? Let's do the same thing where we'll click all of these. Now that's going to take $2,095.65. I'm going to cover the underfunding, but I'm also going to come down here to home maintenance, and it's put more into here than I really want to put in. I'm going to put $750 for right now. And that is still a fairly healthy amount. Let's go look at what else it did. Yep, I'm pretty happy with the work hard. Got a couple $100 going towards gifts and Christmas. As far as the other sinking funds, it's just the car maintenance and repairs. So that's in good shape. This is a little steeper than I want to have in the clinic costs. I had bumped that up to $600 because of some blood work that I was going to do for the cat. And the vet actually, I'm very glad, talked me out of that particular procedure. So it's not really necessary. Happy with subscriptions and happy with the office funds. I don't think I'll change this right this minute, but I am making a mental note to myself that there's a few $100s available in the clinic costs if I were to need it. We will move on to the resilience question. What can I set aside for next month's spending? I could actually skip the resilience category since I am currently doing the $5,000 experiment, and so I'm essentially month by month, excuse me, using my income, well, using the $5,000 fixed income that I've set aside for myself. Okay, then we get on to the creation question. What goals, large or small, do I want to prioritize? I always want to prioritize playing harder. That wants quite a bit of the money, so let's see. I don't want to put 480 in fitness, so this target really needs to change. I will go ahead and take a minute, and I'm going to bring this down to, do I want to do 380 and refill up to 380? Well, it took me to 380. Oh, well, let's see what happens when I do that. Okay, so now I'm going to put in 380. No, I'm going to put in 280. I did that all wrong. I do want to put in the 380. Yep, okay. Sorry, mental math sometimes when you're recording is a little bit challenging. Happy with the garden supplies. Always want those to be up at around 100. Feed Me is in good shape, and Fun and Adventures looks good and healthy. Let's do the rest of these. Oh, I don't have anything going to Share the Wealth. I probably will put something in there, and then $200 for Helping Hands and nothing towards monthly service. Oh, but that wants a total of 300, and I'm only at 203.77. So what shall we do? First thing I'm going to do is put the 377 in here. And then how about I put 100 into Helping Hands. And I actually want to put 105 into monthly garden service. So I'm going to have to take that money from somewhere else. And I think I'll go back to the home maintenance and take it out of there. So if we go back to creation, we're still at 205, we're at 0. What I want to do now is go to all and then look into the future where we have everything funded, and we are a full 6 months funded into the future plus another 2,500. If we go back into May, and then we release this money back into ready to assign, it takes it back to 881.72, which is fine. I will then go back into the future again, and I want to put 500 of that into January and bump this up to 3,000. And then we'll take this 381.72, and where would I want to put that money? Let me go to today. I want to double check that June is, yeah, it's got $5,000 allocated plus the $879 that is in the cashback category. All right, so this 381.72, what do I want to do with that? I think I'm going to go to the creation question and nope, I'm going to go to the stability and go ahead and put it into the, nope, keep changing my mind, sorry guys. I'm going to add another 250 to the home and car insurance deductibles to try to bolster that just a little bit more, and then I'll add the rest of it into the home maintenance category group. There's a lot of home projects that I have coming up, so I'd really like to get that up higher than it is right this second. Okay, we did it. We have given every single one of the dollars a job. There's one other thing that I wanted to share with you guys. Let me go to all, and then where is this one hiding? I think it's in the work hard. Yeah, for the home insurance category. I saw Kyle's video earlier today, and he got caught up with the way that targets work in YNAB, and I almost got caught up. It was just a happy accident that I happened to notice before it was a real problem. But when I went to double check on my home insurance premium, which I was due in May, I thought that it was on auto pay, and I thought that State Farm required that the entire yearly amount be paid in May, but first thing, it wasn't on auto pay. So on Monday, I discovered that it hadn't been paid, so I signed into State Farm's website, and that's when I discovered that I could do monthly billing. So I did put it on monthly billing, and on Tuesday, or Monday, which was, I believe, the 2nd in June, it collected the May premium and the June premium all at once. So 2 premiums came out. I booked them, I backdated them into May 31st so that this target would reset itself, because I had funded it for May at the full $1,632.14. If I had booked that in June, then YNAB would have seen that I had already met the target, and it would not have reset this and started asking me for more money. As it is, though, it is looking for another $248, and, well, if I put this at 0, it's looking to replace the $270.76 that I spent back in May. So now I will remain a year ahead of schedule in this budget, and therefore it's only going to ask for $22.57 a month until May of 2026, which is kind of nice. In the meantime, that extra money is going to earn me about $35 in my high yield savings account. So I kind of got the blessing of that mistake, and I feel kind of bad for Kyle because he was looking to shift money around and it didn't work out quite as advantageous. But we all know that he doesn't actually suck at budgeting. If you don't know who I was talking about, it is Kyle from I Suck at Budgeting, and you definitely should go check out his channel if you haven't already. But he doesn't suck at budgeting. He's quite good at it. He just got caught up by this particular nuance of the way that targets work in YNAB. So now this $8.79, why is that in ready to assign right now? Did I shift it out of please hold or the tax? Nope, it's sitting right there in $8.79. Now we take that out and it's at $17.58. This thing is just making a mockery of me, is it not? Okay, I am going to put this into the home maintenance category. I just did things slightly out of order. So now that $8.79, which we all know is the cash back in the month of June, is going to go into tax holding for the month of June. And voila, we're at 0. We've budgeted out all of the stuff, given every single dollar a job, and now let's go celebrate. I don't know how many of you are even remotely interested in the greens that I'm growing, but here they are. Seminole pumpkins in the front, and then speckled beans in the back. This particular vine, it's one vine. I planted seeds along every single one of the little posts down there, but only one vine came up. It's just quite a healthy one, so I'll probably get a nice little, well, about a pound of beans out of that guy. Here we have some African marigolds. More African marigolds with some shiso in the back. The shiso is in the basil family. It's very fragrant, very delicious. You can chop it up and put it in with rice. I think you can make a tea out of it. I've often just brought it in the house and used it as cut flowers in a vase because it's so pretty. The green on the top and then the purple on the back of those leaves. Next up, we have a sunflower. 2 sunflowers, but this one just, those blooms have not burst yet. Or they hadn't when I took the photo. That was a couple days ago, and now the flowers are out and they're just beautiful. Those were all in the front yard. Now we've jumped to the backyard, and this is one of the raised beds where in the backyard the theme is volunteers only. So this is a sunflower that volunteered from last year's harvest. And then there's a callaloo behind it. It's an Egyptian spinach that it also goes by the name amaranth. Very, very delicious. Probably my favorite green. Definitely my favorite green of the summer. I've got a banana stand. The lighting's not great, but it really is a beautiful tree. And it used to be surrounded by another probably 6 or 7 banana trees. But we were hit by a late freeze in January or February of this year, and it's the only freeze that knocked out any of the bananas, and it took out just about everything except for this one. So the banana stand will be back in service soon enough. Here we have the air potatoes. I don't know if I mentioned them before, but this is one of the invasives that I find the most troublesome. It's this beautiful heart-shaped leaf, so it's beautiful as long as it's not producing any of its fruit, because the potatoes grow on the vine itself, and sadly, they are not edible. The variety that grows in Florida is toxic. There's a variety that grows in Asia that is edible and is eaten in Asia, but not here. And then here we have Virginia creeper, so I'm doing my best to knock those guys back. This little air potato is mocking me, trying to take over my pitchfork that I left out back. So these air potatoes, they run in size from, I mean, they could be as small as like the tip of a pencil, but this one is about the size of a pea. Then we have some graduated ones here that are more like, this one's probably the size of maybe a large grape, a plum, and an orange. And then this guy is the size of a large grapefruit. It's not the best picture of it, but this guy here is ginormous. And I can't count the number of those that I have dug out of the ground, but every single one of them means that that's one less vine in the yard. So here are more of the air potato vines, and if you look very closely, there's some tendrils of the smilax up here. The smilax is really annoying. The tendrils, if you cut them off like probably around here, the tendrils you can cook up and eat, and they supposedly taste like asparagus. I've never done it, and I just find no redeeming qualities for the smilax vine. Here on the outside you can see a thicker, sturdier root, but they're growing up in the citrus tree in my neighbor's yard and just choking it out, and it just anyhow, I'm very grateful to Daniel for coming out and helping me dig all of those out. The air potatoes I can dig out myself, but the smilax roots are really, really difficult. So yay for that. Yay for 100 subscribers. If you're still here and you haven't done so already, please like and subscribe so that you'll get more of my videos when I continue publishing. I really enjoyed this little hobby of mine, and love to see everybody else's YouTube videos. So thanks for spending a little bit of time with me. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and thanks for coming by.